What is going on, everyone? My name is Jax, and I have a really cool video. Today I'm going over my unplayable characters in the Marvel Contest Champions. It's a huge document of 88 characters. There's a couple characters I didn't put on this list just because there's not that information about them. Whether they just have, like, it's like Rocket and Moon Knight and Amy, like they had like different class abilities at one point, or like they were like a different class. Other characters like MCU, Quicksilver, he was supposed to be in an event, and he was basically the game's ended, couldn't handle him, so I didn't really put him on this list. But I'll talk about this later. Yeah, so those are the characters that I didn't put on this list, and that's why like Void also had a different model. But like there's not information, there's not images of them, there's not like a lot of information to put on this list. But I just wanted to explain why those characters are on this list. And yeah, so yeah, let's get going. I'm gonna skim over a lot of this stuff because it's an 88 character list. I don't want to keep you all day. I'm gonna keep this like a 20-minute video, probably less than that. But yeah, I'm gonna get going. And here we are. The first one is the Collector, my dude, the Collector. You can fight him in Act 5, and he's actually sent away by Karina in Act 6. So yeah, you can see that there. All right, so here's Captain Marvel. This is actually the original model for Captain Marvel. You could fight her the first month the game came out, but when she became playable a month later, she actually had a different model with the Mohawk, and it's actually not said why, but yeah, she did have a different model. I'm guessing it's because Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel without the Mohawk just look too similar, and I think that's why they chose with the Mohawk. And yeah, so there's her original model. Maybe she'll come playable one day, but honestly, I doubt it. But yeah, alright, so next one's really cool, is actually the ISO Adaptoid. He's not playable, he's not fightable, he's only in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 0 2017 motion comic. He's basically the lackey of the Collector. And yeah, so I don't think, it's kind of crazy. Maybe this is like I'll talk about this a little bit later, but it's kind of the case with like the Sentinel, maybe the Doombot, how we're supposed to get the generic one become playable, and we only got the Sentinel playable, so who knows. Alright, so next are the other Adaptoids, the class-specific ISO Adaptoids. They are pretty much reused special attacks and whatnot, so you can find them in Act 1. I know a lot of them got replaced by other characters that came out afterwards, like if you fight Carnage in Act 1, he originally was the Cosmic Adaptoid, like they replaced the Cosmic Adaptoid with Carnage, and other characters got replaced by future characters because they're too generic. But yeah, there you go. So alright, next one is the Maestro, the big dude Maestro, the God King, the whole King Conqueror. Is dead. He died in Marvel Champions. We actually banished him after Act 4 to the Battle World, where he actually rolled with an Iron Fist, and then like a couple decades later, he died from an unknown assassin. My prediction is actually is the Punisher, who actually disappeared a couple years ago. That's what my prediction is, but who knows? I would love to figure it out. That'd be pretty dope. And yeah, there is rumors that we're getting a Maestro next month called the Overseer Maestro, so maybe he obviously is from another dimension, because the one from our dimension is dead. So this other dimension, I've talked about a video, you can check it out on my channel about the lead characters. It's a really cool video where I go over a lot of cool stuff and theories. Check it out. Alright, so next one, Scarlet Witch Ultimate. This is probably the most talked about character who never came to the game, because she was the first Datamon character. She had her own abilities. I don't know about special attacks, but she had her own abilities, and it was pretty cool. Yeah, so she was data mined. My guess is that she never became playable just because of the controversy. If you don't know about the controversy of the Ultimate Universe, have fun looking at that. But Marvel crossed the line they should never cross with this character, especially just with Ultimate Comics in general. And that's probably why, it's just because of that, they crossed that moral line that they shouldn't have crossed. Alright, so next one is actually the Ultron's Assault event. I really want to talk about this because there's like 3 characters that are super unique to this event, who became a statement like for unused models. And the reason why is because the Ultron Assault event is interesting because Ultron, the MCU version of Ultron, who joined in this event, Ultron Prime, by the way, is what his name is, he was not the original model. The original model was actually Labtron, who came out a couple years later. So this was like the first time, or I guess one of the first times, that an alternate model became playable as a trophy champ. Maybe Unstoppable Colossus was, I'm not too sure, but this was like one of the first moments where it was like a trophy champ, or I guess Immortal Iron Fist as well, but you get what I'm saying. Like this was like the first one where it was like original design. There wasn't supposed to be 2 Ultrons, just one Ultron, and that's what happened. And I think that's the same case with like Hulkbuster, where this was his original model, and Kabam saw Age of Ultron, and they decided to go with that instead, and now he's just left in the game files. So yeah, it's a pretty cool model. Check out the description. Here's all the symbioids. You can find them in Act 4 and a couple other places, but we did get a playable one. We'll talk about that a little later. Next is Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones is not playable, not fightable, only a dialogue character. She appeared in a lot of promotional images. Here she is on this New York Comic Con poster. She's a pretty cool character, but she's too generic to become playable, said by Kabam Gabe, but maybe one day. So yeah, she had a Black Widow special attacks, that generic female twist kick heavy attack and other stuff, so it's just too generic. So maybe one day, who knows. But yeah, so speaking of alternate models, here's Daredevil Prototype and Iron Skull, aka Red Skull. Daredevil Prototype is the Season 1 suit that Matt Murdock got before he got his Melvin Potter suit, which is the one we got playable in game. So it's just an unused model of just the black prototype suit. I think it's too generic, in my opinion. I can see why they went with the amazing Daredevil suit that we got. But yeah, it's just pretty cool to look at. Maybe this is maybe another alternate skill in the future. Who knows? All right. So speaking of another alternate skill, which is weird, Iron Skull was originally skill. I don't know why, but he was. I talked about before, like how Rocket had a science icon, Moon Knight had a mystic icon, and even Ant-Man with a tech, but yeah, he had a skill icon, which is weird. But he had Iron Patriot special attacks when it was data mined. But Risco joined the game in 2018. 3 years after he was data mined, he joined the game with the Cosmic Cube. I prefer the Cosmic Cube, but it's pretty cool to look at Iron Skull with a Hydra Iron Man armor suit. It's cool. I would love to see it come to the game one day. Alright, so next one is Tedbaloids. You can fight them in the Deadpalooza event, which will be the next variant coming at the end of the year. Pretty cool. Here's all the abilities. Check it out. Alright, next one is the MODOK Mo Problems. These aren't the actual MODOK combination characters. These are just somehow just alternate variants of characters that come from different universes. If you play the MODOK Mo Problems event or look back at you can't play it nowadays. I'm sure when it comes to variant, or if you just look back at old videos, they explain why each character is the way it is, or at least most of them at least, is because from the universe, something happened and they became fused with another character. More or less. Like Juggernaut just stole Hank Pym tech and then suddenly become the Unstoppable Ant, which is he actually appears in like 2 more events. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So these are just, like I said, they're just alternate variants. The collector basically discarded them, and then MODOK, once he came to the game, who was a discarded champion, which is funny, he was like, well, I'm going to collect the other discarded champions, and then we're going to, do a thing. So that's basically what happened, if you want to know the story of that event. Alright, so next one's Doctor Strange Marvel Now. Yeah, he was kind of like the same boat as Jessica Jones, except for he never became playable or dialogue character, which is crazy. He actually never appeared in the game, only in promotional images and data mined abilities, which he actually had hex abilities. Like he had like a hex abilities, and he had like a little story of the character, which is he crossed the line. He kind of crossed the line, or Doctor Strange wouldn't, to become a god. So yeah, crazy, right? This Doctor Strange Marvel Now became a god. I'll have his abilities in the description if you want to check it out. But like I said, he had hex abilities. So, yeah, he crossed the moral line to become a god character. And I guess a lot of people have guessed that he became the Simi Supreme. He doesn't. The Simi Supreme, this Doctor Strange underneath it is the same Doctor Strange we have playable, not the Marvel Now, but honestly, who knows? Anyway, so yeah, next one is Jean Grey. And she was a dialogue character, cannot be fought or retained. She was an X-Men Terror Genocide. She's been in a couple events. Alright, so she became the Phoenix in the second X-Men Terror Genocide event. Or at the end of it, at the end of it, and then she became Phoenix in the next X-Men Terror Genocide event, and then she became the Phoenix and then burned all the Terror Giant event, which was deadly to mutants. And then when she did that, she became the evolutionary Infinity Gem, the red gem, like the Dark Phoenix. Oh, sorry, she became Jean Grey, Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, Infinity Gem. Okay, so here's a Grandmaster. He's fightable in Act 5. Or sorry, not Act 5, Grandmaster in Act 6, and he was sent away with the Collector by Karina. So pretty cool. He's gone, but he is fightable in Act 6. He's a really cool boss fight. Go check it out. I'll have a lore document on a little bit more of the story characters. But so ISO infused Phoenix, which is weird because Dark Phoenix became the Infinity Stone, the Red Infinity Stone, and then when she got out of the Infinity Stone, she was just regular Dark Phoenix. But my guess is that she was supposed to become the ISO infused Phoenix, and she never became playable. So here it is. She basically had a gray suit, which is weird because if you duplicate Phoenix in game, she has a gray suit. So I don't know if this is like an alternate model for that duplication feature, or if this was like a story character that just a scrapped idea. But that's all the information on her, so it's kind of crazy. Another character that was just a dialogue character is actually Wolverine X-Force. He's only a dialogue character. You can't fight him, can't attain him, but ever since Apocalypse joined the game, he actually has like basically all of the X-Force characters in the game are horsemen of the Apocalypse in the game. So it's pretty cool. So maybe we'll see him in the future. I definitely think we'll see him in the future. Whether he's playable or not, I have no clue. But Weapon X, this was one of the first events he also appeared. It was an X-Forcer event, so he finally became playable last year. So who knows what will happen. All right, next one's Lockjaw. The reason why Lockjaw's not playable is just because I don't see how he can be playable. He just has the ability to teleport, and it kind of looks like animal abuse if you're fighting a dog in this game. So it's pretty weird. So that's probably why he's not playable. But yeah, he's pretty cool. He can teleport. He's basically used as a story character to teleport our characters, specifically the Illuminati around the battle realm. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Next one are actually the Hotel MODOK mashups, that being Punishing Angel, Gunperion, Night Carnage, Voodoo Skull, Ice Phoenix. They have like the perfect blend of 2 characters. Like their abilities are basically, here's Iceman abilities, and here's Phoenix's ability. Boom, here's your character. So if that's kind of something you would be interested in, this would be a really cool character to have to the game. I think all these characters are in Act 7, right? I think Act 7 or 6. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Act 7 where you can fight these characters again. Pretty cool. All right, next one. Speaking of Act 6 and 7, Karina Tavan, aka the Adventurer. She was first appeared in 2018 as a crystal, a crystal, and then because she got crystallized, and then her remains were scouted all across the battle realm, and then Collector finally built her with the help of Aegon and the Sentry, and it was really cool. And then she became the leader of the. She became the runner of the contest, and after the Grandmaster was defeated, now she has like this cool relationship, obviously I think it's like hero-villain relationship with the Chrono Serpent, the big baddie of the contest in the Marvel Realm. So hopefully we'll have that coming up pretty soon. Alright, so next are the Sentinels. These are basically the regular Sentinel we have playable in the game, just with a little bit more generic based on the class. It's kind of same thing with the Adaptoids and Symbioids, and you can fight these in Alliance Quest. But yeah, so these are all the class ones. So basically, I'm going to explain this. How can I explain this? Okay, so the regular Sentinel is like, think of it like this: regular Sentinel we have playable, generic ISO, that gray ISO. These Sentinels are class-specific ISO Sentinels. You get what I'm saying? So it's like so all the Sentinels in the game, even the story of the game, they explain that they've been infused with ISO, and that's kind of why specific ISO they've been infused with. You get the things, and Sentinels are just tech anyway, so that's kind of why they're tech. The one we have playable is tech. But yeah, this is a pretty cool and kind of like a cool lore why they're the way they are. The next one are the nameless ones. These are cool because basically what happened is obviously there are a lot of Infinity Stones. There's 6 Infinity Stones in the contest, and I guess technically 7 since with the champion he has the Power Stone. These Infinity Stones are the ISO Infinity Stones. The story of the Infinity Stones in the contest is like so cool, and this is the event where Thanos is getting close to collecting all of them. And so when he used the Death Stone, specifically created by Hela, by the way, it created alternate versions of characters, that being King Groot, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Hyperion, Guillotine, Thanos, and the Collector. And it's pretty cool. So these are cool. They still exist. We actually defeated them in the events, and they each had an Infinity Stone, and those Infinity Stones became like chaos. It was a node. So all these like Infinity Stones, they became nodes. It was really cool. But specifically King Groot actually became a Funko Pop. You could get the Funko Pop. Here it is. King Groot. It glows in the dark. It's pretty dope. But that was like the only time we've ever seen the Nameless return, besides new versions of the Nameless characters like Thanos after this event. But yeah, so they're created by the Death Stone. They still exist. Like even Guillotine says, you didn't destroy them. They still exist. But yeah, so okay. Next one is the Infinity Gauntlet Thanos. Basically, he collected the Infinity Stones and then we fought him. But there's 2 different versions. One with red eyes, one with blue. That's it. That's it. Like one of them had different. They both had the same special attacks, but one of them had different color special attacks. And then he became the Nameless one later on. Alright, so next one's Hydra Super Adaptoid, aka Arnim Zola. Yeah, Arnim Zola actually the Hydra Super Adaptoid. He put his consciousness in the Hydra Adaptoid, and that's what you could fight in, I think it's the Maze, Enter the Cabal event, and then I want to say Act 6 as well. So it's pretty, or Act 6 or 7. So it's pretty cool. He's still around and a story character. But yeah, so speaking of story character, Summon Symbioid. Everyone loves little Stevie here. He was playable in 2018, only during this month of the game, and then he became a lock character, which you could then sell. And yeah, man, he was cool, man. He basically was a 1-star that you just upgraded with specific Clintar catalyst. You can see that in the game still. It's still left over from this event. And yeah, he's cool. He had Sabretooth and Carnage special attacks, but he was really cool, became really powerful. His bleeds were insane. His bleeds were insane. But yeah, so anyways, the next character is Skrull, a dialogue character only, sadly. But what's cool about the Skrull is basically they were in the battle realm forever because we have so many almost infinite characters in the contest that the Skrulls just happened to be there and the Collector just didn't care. There's a cool motor comic where the Collector just gives this basically the Collector is the lackey of the Maestro because he's the true runner of the contest, right? So he brings champions to the Maestro and their Skrulls, and he's he won't know the difference. And yeah, so they've been around for a while now, but what's the cool thing about them is that they shapeshift. So Kabam have even said that shapeshifting is something we've never dared to do because basically they said it's a loading issue, but they want to load every character in the game. I don't know why. So maybe it's an RNG chance where it can shapeshift into a character and you can get that physical appearance, or if something like that. I don't know. So if it's a thing, something like that. But we do have Super Skrull in the game, so who knows? But yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, so the next one is Negative Zone Aged Human Torch. Basically what happened is with the Maestro, with Fantastic Four were one of the original 12 champions who came to the game, and the Maestro found out that the Fantastic Four were trying to build an escape thing. And so he used his fist and basically cracked the dimension and split each member of the Fantastic Four into different dimensions. And Negative Zone, that's where Human Torch was sent, and then he became a tyrant ruler after being corrupted by the Cosmic Rod. And so that's a little bit of story of why he's aged and why he's kind of evil. Alright, next one's name of Sentinel. Like I said, he was created by the Death Stone, and you can find him in Avengers Forever Quest. Another character in Avengers Forever Quest was the Chair. Yes, you actually, well, in the Avengers Forever Quest, you're actually bouncing through realities, and one of the realities you go through is 9047, which the Chair is from the comics as well, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's crazy. It's interesting because it's either the one above all sitting on the chair, so you can't comprehend him, so you only see the chair, or it's the chair itself. you know it is. It's pretty cool. I like it. But yeah, that's the last time. That's when the Chair first popped up. A lot of people love the Chair, so there he is. All right, so next one's the Power Stone. Like I talked about before, this is the Power Stone champion. You can fight in Act 6. He's an Elder of the Universe. Basically, he's a champion just with the Power Stone. That's the best way to explain him. Yeah, so next guy's name was Collector. Like I said, he's the last person to be spawned by the Death Stone. You can find him in the Abyss. He's pretty cool. He's basically just left over, which is kind of crazy. I would have loved more story on this character, but he is fightable in the Abyss. Same special attacks Collector and whatnot. So the next one's a really cool character because it's the generic Doombot. We don't have the generic Doombot playable or fightable or anything. It was just data mined. It was just data mined with the white eyes instead of class-specific eyes. It's crazy, right? So he never became playable, no nothing, but he is there. It's pretty cool, but hopefully maybe there's I think there's the case with the ISO Adaptoid and then the Sentinel, where we got the generic Sentinel with the generic ISO versus the Doombots with other class specifics. But yeah, the other Doombots you can just fight in Alliance Quest. You can still fight them to the day. They just have specific abilities based on class, and that's it. All right, so the last two characters. So Scarlet Witch, she was data mined as Scarlet Witch Sigil, but when she became playable, she was just regular Scarlet Witch. So she's obviously based on the comics. Yeah, so she first showed up in Spider-Ham, where she was a boss, and then later became a just fightable character in every event quest since. So you can fight even today you can fight her in the Shang-Chi event quest. She's just on a path. So she's been on a path ever since. My guess is a trophy champ, maybe for the summer, but I mean, who knows really? I don't know. There are State of the Battle Realm. I have a couple theories on maybe who could maybe Wiccan will spawn with her eventually this year, but who knows? But yeah, there she is. She has her own unique abilities and special attacks. So yeah, check it out. All right, so the final person is Gwen Master. Man, Gwen Master just came out earlier this week. Act 7, Chapter 2, Final Boss. She has cool phases where she has Emma Frost's ability, Killmonger's abilities, Arcus' abilities, Iron Man, Invisible Woman's Doctor Doom, and yeah, she's pretty cool. She's got some Grey Master special attack, got some Gwenpool special attack. It's really cool. It's a cool fight. She is unique, and she got data mined about I want to say September of last year. So she was data mined a while ago, and she finally became playable just last Wednesday. So there you go. Those are 88 non-playable characters in the contest. Like I said, a couple of these people didn't make it on the list, and I explained why. But yeah, that's crazy. I love these. This is so cool. I finally got this document out how I wanted to. If you want to link, I'm going to link this in the description. I'm going to link more stuff on these characters. Check it out. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming by this video. It's been a lot of video. It's been months in the making of making this document and whatnot. So I appreciate all the love. I appreciate everyone commenting. I love you guys. Thanks so much for checking this out. I will see you guys next time. And yeah, peace out, everyone.